All right, guys. This is Acer of Spades, Team BLA State 268. We are number one. Guys, this is going to be an absolutely amazing video. Welcome to my advanced parts guide. We are going to go over everything you need to know. This is going to be my top 5 tips. And on top of that, we're going to actually make a part on film so that you guys can see exactly how it's done and how to apply said tips in your game. Now listen, my voice is incredibly hoarse. As you guys probably know, if you follow me on Instagram or on Twitter or on my Facebook page, I just had the wildest bachelor party with one of my best friends, Mr. Chris Kovas, professional photographer. Guy's incredible. So please don't mind my voice too much. I'm going to give you all the information. I want to get this information to you as soon as possible. It's been a week. So stay tuned and let's get started. In Last Shelter Survival, there are many ways to increase your APC stats, and one of the hardest and most essential ways is utilizing parts in your APC. If you are brand new to Last Shelter, or if you're just new to the idea of parts, please watch my parts introduction video. That'll be in the description below. Parts give massive bonuses to some of the hardest stats to increase, such as combat speed and unit HP, as well as troop load and the all-important marching speed. In short, they will give you a serious edge over someone who has a similar base level and technology. They are absolutely necessary when battling. So let's get to it. Our first great tip is never stop making power cubes. So as you'll see right here, I got my power, refining, energy plants, and I constantly, no matter what, left it blank now for video purposes, will always refill this. The cool part about this is when this is currently generating power cubes, you can actually end it earlier so that you can continue to refill these plants up. And if you can help it, never go to sleep with them almost finished and without refilling. You want this running 24/7. You also want to do the same for your chips, but this is not the chip video. So you never, ever, ever stop. I'm often asked many times, what would be the best class at base level 19? I suggest you meet one of the following conditions. You either be a raider if you have plenty of farms, 5+ preferably, and you can hit them all day, or you be a trader if you can't. And the reason that is because the key is money, and you need lots of money to constantly make these cubes. If you combine this basic tip along with your expeditions to maximize cores and fragments, you're going to have all you need to make your parts. Now, the expedition video along with the energy core and fragments video will be in the description below. You need information on those things and how to maximize those. By all means, watch those videos as well. Tip number 2. Parts technology. This is absolutely crucial. So this is the parts technology tree in all of its glory. I have completely maxed that out, and you're going to want to do so as soon as possible. Now, the best way to do it, since it is super easy, super cheap, and super important, is to go ahead and watch my advanced tech COZ video, also in the description, and it will show you how to maximize this tech tree as you're going through and getting your T9s and things like that. So the basic scoop is material for parts, since they take forever, this entire technology will increase that process by 50%. It will then also increase your energy core output production by 50%, making those refineries do a whole lot more for a whole lot less. And it not only allows you to get energy cores back for splitting them, but it also lets you to split material and get energy cores back for splitting that. And this is absolutely significant because if you can increase your energy core potential, you can increase how many parts you get. So let's go ahead and expand on this topic a little bit because there's a super duper perk I want to talk about. So, as I mentioned in the past, the commercial port is going to give you the best items in the game for the cheapest price. Food and lumber and a little bit of oil goes a long way with that, and it will occasionally feature full parts and materials for parts. So let's look at a quick example. If you were going, you're going to notice really quickly that you're going to find Trailblazer parts, preferably or only engine parts really, for the Trailblazer that pop up. What a lot of people don't know is you go ahead and spend that 4 million food or that 4 million wood, whatever it's asking for, and you get that Trailblazer engine that you may or may not need. If you get 4 of those, you can actually combine those engines and increase them into an orange Trailblazer engine. And then you can obviously get 4 of those orange and increase it to a gold Trailblazer part engine and literally open that up and go ahead and get said Trailblazer engine, which is freaking awesome because you literally spent 4 million food a few times and ended up getting an engine, a gold engine that would have taken forever for no cost of parts production and no time whatsoever other than the purchase time. So not only could you go ahead and split said engine by simply going to your parts building and it'll automatically collect. You would then go ahead and hit depot on the right side and the engine would be there. And if you go ahead and split, it will give you 1,600 power cubes or energy cores. Either way, that's not a whole lot, but that is not where you get all of the money from. That's not where you get the energy cores. So once you get this material back, which is really just the basic materials needed for it, they keep the hardest one to get out for whatever reason, probably because it's worth too much. Anyway, you can then take those now newly gained material for virtually nothing, and you can split them for massive amounts of energy cores. Each one of these engines actually comes out to over 11,000 energy cores for a gold Trailblazer engine, which is enough to make yourself an orange Phantom, Ranger, or Dreadnought part. And you can do that at any time just utilizing the commercial port. You combine that with the other materials that you can get, and you got energy cores out of the whiz-wing. It's absolutely incredible. So you started using that tip, and you're getting lots of energy cores, and you're using tip number 1 as well. We move into tip number 3, and I call this tip the 70% rule. My best results have been utilizing a 70% rule that I came up with that gives me the most success on my parts. So just as a quick example, if I wanted to make a Phantom part, and let's just say I wanted to make a Phantom weapon part, vehicle might increase, combat speed, all that good stuff. Well, you're going to notice it's going to have all these particular costs of material. 3 of them are the easiest one to get, and then 1 is the hard. If I go ahead and try to get this fiberglass and I change it from the orange, which would give me 100% probability of creating an orange part for using all orange material, I can actually go ahead, I hit this at the wrong time. I can actually go ahead and switch it to purple, and it will give me 71% chance to get orange, which is over to 70%, and 28 to get purple. Now listen, this is really, really significant because the 3 easy materials are what you want to use, and you want to save as many of the hard materials as possible because that's going to help you maximize getting engines and control system parts, which are always the hardest to require. Now, key note, no matter what material you substitute, the percentage is still the same. So just to show you what I mean, if I change that back to orange and I went to one of these glue sticks, super glue, and I changed that to purple, I'm still getting the 71.4%. The obvious difference, I'm saving glue sticks that I don't need when I can easily save this fiberglass, which is absolutely crucial and hard to get and not change the percentage of success. So now we know exactly what the hardest material is to get, at least for the Phantom. Each one of them have it. If you click on one of the parts factory and you simply go to materials, you're going to see yours pop up. I can do green materials, which is why mine glow green. Another perk of having 100% maxed out parts technology. But the point is, it's always the one on the right side. So clearly on the right side here is the fiberglass. If you go to Ranger, it's going to be these little titanium alloys, etc., etc. So to make a long story short, what are the best ways to get the hard material? The only type of materials that your building, your parts building should ever be making is the hardest to get material. And I mean at all times. So if you notice at the bottom here, the only thing that's popping up is green material fiberglass. Very, very important. Don't ever change it. Don't try to make the other parts. The other materials. It's absolutely unnecessary. You can easily get all that material from the commercial port, the VIP shop, the material shop, and of course the diamond shop. Just as an example, here's the material shop at the top right of the parts building. You can go ahead and purchase those in absolute bulk, and you'll have no problem having all of those. So if you do this several times and you do it all the time, you're never going to have an issue. So since this building is always working, you are constantly maximizing the amount of material that you're making. Meaning this is literally, each one of these literally takes forever to make, especially when you're doing purple. If you notice, it says it's 9 hours down here. If I increase my material, my building it will then increase how long that takes. But understand, it's not a huge significant difference at this point. You just want to make sure that it's always working. So it's only making, give or take, 2 or 3 of these materials a day. That means every 2 or 3 days, you can come in and just go ahead and refill that just to make sure it's always working. You never want to make these easier to make parts, fall asleep, and then have those materials finish while you're sleeping. That wastes all the potential time that this could be making very significant materials for you. So now you know you can get all these materials from all these different places. And the point is, if you notice, there's a lot of options here. There's a couple things you need to keep in mind, and I won't make them specific tips. Now that we finished tip number 4, let me just give you a few side notes. Number 1, when you're dealing with parts, always pick a focus point. If you're going to be based on fighters for any reason, build dreadnought parts and concentrate and focus on the hardest materials for dreadnought and make that happen. If you're going to be focusing on phantom or vehicles, only do those. Don't mix it up. Don't try to do a little here and a little there. That's not going to help you. Best option is to keep being focused. But now you go to the shops and they give you all these options. What exactly are you buying? I have to say, I am corrected. Young Acer would have told you to buy blue chests. But the fact is, this is actually false. You always buy the green material chests. And here's why. Even though ever so slightly, it increases the probability that you're going to get those hard to get materials in the shop of the material shop here and the diamond shop. VIP and the commercial port is actually the exception because they offer purple, and honestly, picking up the pace without increasing that probability, in my opinion, is a little better than. So just so you guys can see what that would be like, since I'm currently focusing on Phantom, I'll just go to the green Phantom ones for the lesser amount, and I will go ahead and buy, just for giggles, I'll buy 30 of them for you guys. And what it will do is it'll open up, and you'll notice I only got 1 fiberglass. The fact is, all the other materials that I told you were super easy to get, they come in massive abundance. So all I would have to do at that point is simply go to my materials, and then I can easily just click whatever one I want and easily go ahead and upgrade those to get what I need. So if you notice the fiberglasses are being made, I just go ahead and combine those up. And then I move over, combine those up, etc., etc. Again, easy as pie when you do it that way, and you get a lot more out of it. So now that we got all 5 of those tips out the way, and you guys know exactly how to maximize your energy cores, your materials, and what exactly to do with these parts to get the most out of it, let's go ahead and make a part. So let's assume that I would like to go ahead and make a gold Trailblazer part just for fun. We'll go down to the bottom. Mind you, just a quick correction, the central control system and the engine for the Trailblazer is actually not the hardest. So the hardest ones to make that we were talking about are just these last 2 at the bottom. So the last 2 at the bottom of any list are going to need 3 of the hardest to get material. They'll be in different placements, but in this particular case, it's the sensor for the Trailblazer. So if I wanted to make this grizzly bear armor and allow my troops to gather way more in those particular areas and get extra resources, here's what you would do. The same tip that we talked about earlier, you bring it down to that 73% rule, which means I'm taking one of the sensors and I'm making it orange instead of trying to get another gold. At this point, I personally like to just go ahead and craft immediately to save myself time. So I can go ahead and hit this. It tells me it's going to cost me 6,000. I hit craft immediately. And, I don't need a reminder. Just go ahead and take the 1,400 diamonds it takes to do that. And sure enough, I got a nice new gold part. And I did so for cheaper than if I were to go ahead and do it. And honestly, I'm not saying that you'll get the same results. Results do vary. But I personally have never had a problem getting the part I was going for by doing this method. Now, there obviously is a 20-something% chance that you will fail, but I've done this 8-10 times and I haven't run into that. I very well might run into a whole slew of bad luck, but hopefully you guys have the same luck that I do and you're getting your parts without having any issues or difficulty. And although it's still time consuming, you're getting it the most efficient ways possible. All right, guys, now that we've seen all that in action and did everything that we talked about today, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. Go to the Facebook, go to the Twitter. You can even send me a donation. That'll be in the description below as well. And hopefully you have more requests for me so I can make you more and greater videos. I want to do advanced topics on heroes. I want to do advanced topics on S1s and S2s. So that's coming out very soon. I will also be doing launch center battles. We got a lot coming up, guys, so please stay tuned and bear with me. I try to write everything out and give you guys the best information possible. This way, it's value that matters most to me. So thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you for dealing with my hoarse voice. And all right, man. Ace of Spades, Team BLA signing out.